Welcome to English Avenue Global, the place where stories inspire, confidence grows, and English becomes easy. If you've ever felt nervous speaking English, if people laughed at your mistakes, or if fear stopped you from chasing your dreams, you are not alone. On this channel, you will learn English through powerful stories, real-life conversations, pronunciation practice, vocabulary, and simple daily lessons designed to help you speak naturally and confidently. 1. Melina was a simple village boy, but her dream was extraordinary. She wanted to learn English and do something in life, but there was one problem: she was afraid. Whenever she tried to speak English, people would laugh. Her friends would say, "This is not for us." Slowly, Arif himself started believing that he could not. One day, Arif applied for a small job in the city. She was asked some simple English questions in the interview. She knew the answer but could not say it. Her hands were shaking, her throat was dry. She failed. That night she sat alone thinking maybe success is not for her. On her way home she saw an old teacher. The teacher asked her, "Why are you so worried?" Melina opened up everything. The teacher smiled and said, "Success does not come from luck, it comes from discipline, patience, and courage." These words were deeply embedded in Melina's mind. From the next day, Melina made rules for herself. She would wake up early every day. She would practice English for 30 minutes every day. She would watch simple English videos and speak standing in front of the mirror. She felt very uncomfortable at the beginning, but she did not stop. Days passed, weeks passed, months. She was improving, but slowly. Many times she felt like giving up, but then she remembered the teacher. "Be patient, it takes time," so she continued. One day Melina bravely went to the market and tried to speak English to a stranger. She made many mistakes, but this time she didn't run away. She stood and tried again. This was her real victory. A year later, Melina applied for a job again. This time, when the English question was asked in the interview, she smiled and answered confidently. She got the job because of luck, not because of her own change. Melina's story teaches us one thing: you don't need luck to be successful. You need the discipline to start, the patience to keep going, and the courage to not give up. So the question now is, are you waiting for luck or are you creating your own success? 2. After getting a job, Melina's life slowly started to change, but new challenges also came in front of her. Everyone in the office spoke English. Sometimes she couldn't understand, and sometimes she would stop even when she tried to speak. For the first few days, she started to feel scared again. She thought maybe she wasn't ready yet. But this time she didn't run away. She told herself that I've come this far. I won't stop now. She started again. Every day after returning from the office, she would learn new words. She would listen to English news and try to correct her mistakes. Slowly, she began to understand that there is no end to learning. The more she learned, the more new things would come. One day, her boss asked her to give an important presentation. At first, she was scared, but this time she didn't say no. She prepared for a few days, stood in front of the mirror and practiced repeatedly, trying to overcome her fear. On the day of the presentation, her hands were shaking, but she started. Slowly, her fear decreased and she finished with confidence. Everyone's applause gave her new strength. That day, she realized that she had really changed. From then on, Melina helped not only herself but others. She would tell those who were afraid to learn English that it's bad to make mistakes and bad not to try. After a few days, she started a small YouTube channel where she taught English in a simple way and encouraged those who were afraid like her. People started to be inspired by her story because she wasn't a special person, she was an ordinary person who didn't give up. Today, Melina knows that success is not a destination. It's a journey where you have to improve yourself little by little every day. And that old saying still guides her life. Success doesn't come from luck. It comes from discipline, patience, and the courage to never give up. 3. Melina's YouTube channel slowly started growing and people started getting courage after hearing her words. Many people would message her and say, "Brother, I'm starting again for you." This love made Melina more responsible. She realized that now her words were not only related to her own life but also to the lives of many people. But with success, new problems started coming. Some people started criticizing her. They said that her teaching method was wrong. They tried to discourage her. For a while, Melina broke down again. She started thinking that maybe she was not doing it right. Maybe she should stop. But then she remembered her old days when everyone laughed at her. But she didn't stop. She realized that criticism means you are moving forward because no one talks about people who are not doing anything. So she decided that she would not stop but would do better. She started improving her content and working on new ideas. She started listening to her viewers more carefully. She started understanding their problems and providing simple solutions. Slowly, her channel became more popular. People started coming not only to learn English but also to listen to her stories. One day, he was invited to a big event where he was asked to talk about his journey. Standing on stage, he looked around and remembered that village boy who was afraid to speak English. Today, he was standing in front of hundreds of people telling his story. He said, "I was never special, I just never gave up." The entire hall erupted in applause. That day, Arif realized that his success was not just his own, it was proof that anyone can change their life if they wanted to. And his story is not over yet because he knows that the path of learning and moving forward never stops. 4. After the program, another new chapter began in Melina's life. People now saw her not just as a teacher but as an inspiration. She started being invited to many schools and institutions where she would talk to students and try to dispel their fears. One day, she went to a small school and met a boy who was just like her before, quiet and timid and had no faith in himself. The boy told Melina, "Brother, I try but I can't, everyone laughs so I don't want to talk anymore." Hearing this, Arif remembered his childhood and a kind of determination came into his eyes. He told the boy that if I can do it, you can too. The only difference is that I didn't stop. He gave him small goals to develop the habit of learning a little every day. After a few months, the boy came to meet Arif again. This time, he didn't have fear in his eyes but confidence. He tried to speak English, although there were some mistakes, but his courage was the biggest change. Melina realized that her job was not only to ignite that fire in others but also in her own success. Meanwhile, her YouTube channel also started to grow. Thousands of people watched her videos. Learning is inspiring. But this time he didn't just limit himself to teaching English, he started talking about building a life. He used to say that learning a language is just a skill but building confidence is the real power. Over time, Arif built a small team who worked with him to create better content. Together they created a dream where anyone could easily learn English without any fear. One night, sitting alone, Melina was thinking about her old days and she realized that her journey was not over yet but rather a new beginning. She said to herself, "I will learn as long as I can and help others learn." Because success is not a destination, it is a daily decision where you choose the path of not giving up. 5. Over time, Melina's work started to take on a bigger scale. She started thinking about helping people not only online but also offline. She decided to start a small learning center where those who were afraid of learning English could learn easily. The initial days were not easy, the space was small, the students were few, and many did not believe that it was really possible to learn anything here. But Arif did not stop. He stood up every day and took classes by himself, explained each student individually, corrected their mistakes and gave them courage. Slowly, the number of students started to increase because those who started learning once brought others. This center became not just a place to learn but also a place to build confidence. One day, a mother brought her son and said, "My son could not speak in front of anyone before, now he can speak in English, this is possible for you." Hearing this, Melina's eyes got wet because she realized that her work was making a real difference in people's lives. Then she started dreaming bigger. She wanted her education to reach many more people. She started creating online courses so that people from different parts of the country could learn from home. Her team also started growing, everyone working together. She started moving forward with a goal. But on the way to growing up, there were obstacles again. The workload increased. time decreased. Many times she would get tired. Still, she would remind herself why she started, about that scared boy who wanted to give up one day. She understood that if she had stopped then, all this would not have happened today. So she awakened her inner strength again and started working with new enthusiasm. Today, Melina is not just a person, she is a symbol of change. She has proven that even ordinary people can do extraordinary things if they don't give up. And that one belief of hers still drives her forward. Success does not come from luck. It comes from discipline, patience, and the years passed. Arif's journey has come a long way now, but the ordinary boy inside him still remains the same. One day, he returned to his village, the place where his dreams began. Everything was the same, but Melina was no longer the same. He went to the school where he once sat quietly and was afraid to speak. The students surrounded him and asked how he had come this far. Arif remained silent for a while, looking at them, and slowly began to speak. I was never the smartest, I had no special opportunities, I only had one thing, I never gave up. He told them not to be afraid of making mistakes, because mistakes teach you. He said, start small, move forward little by little every day, and never think of yourself as a small child. Hearing his words, new dreams were awakened in the eyes of many students. That day, Melina realized that the most beautiful part of her journey was showing others the way. When she returned home at night, she looked up at the sky. She felt like she was back to. When she returned home at night, she looked up at the sky. She felt like she was back to those old days when she used to sit alone and dream. But this time, the only difference was that she knew that dreams were not just for seeing, to fulfill. He slowly told himself success is not a destination, it is a moving path where you have to fight with yourself every day. And he is walking on that path and has not stopped yet. His story does not end here because every new day brings a new opportunity. But remember one thing for today. Success does not come from luck, it comes from discipline, patience, and the courage to keep trying even in difficult times.